Hi everyone, Poncho Nicole single knitted, and you're at the stage where your poncho is nearly finished. Making the cowl, and you can do that different ways. You can do a small cowl, a big cowl, it doesn't matter, as long as your person for who you are making it is comfortable with it. You can do a cowl double knitted and then make it in the length, I always say. As you can see, here is what your poncho the direction is, and you see that the cowl is having another direction. So that is one way of doing it. Also, you can make a cowl in the round on a round loom, and then the direction of the stitches will be the same. And there are a few ways of seaming that together, so you hardly see how it's done. And because it is a cowl, you can, when you have a seam, you can always do it in that way that you either see it. As you can see, this is one in a garter stitch, and as you can see, this is the wrong side of the work. So when you're attaching the cowl, you always take notice, how do I attach it? Because when you fold it, you see this is the wrong side that's appearing. So you attach it the way you want to have the cowl. So you fold it, and then you are going to put it on the poncho. Also then the seam will be at the inside of the cowl. I've got my mini poncho here with the neck. And how are you going to make that cowl? This is the point from where we are measuring it. You do your measuring tape around the neck part until the stylus point, and as you can see, it's 35 centimeters. You can either calculate now how many stitches that will be. In my case, that is around 35 stitches. Then you have to take care that the loom you're using, that it is big enough for the cowl, of course. Also, you can try to count stitches by just looking how many stitches are beneath the cast off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and this is where you hardly can see it. You do 18 and then continue counting 19, 20, etc. Okay, this cowl was suitable for this neck, and we are going to adjust it. And as you can see now, in the case of the poncho, the neck part of the front will be a lot deeper than the neck part of the back. And when you are going to divide the cowl into 4 pieces, then it won't be put in that well. So what you are going to do, when you have a seam, you know this is a point, and you can use that as a kind of middle. You put in a piece of scrap yarn count if there are as many, 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. This is almost the middle of the cowl. Then you take another piece of scrap yarn, put it on your needle, and put it exactly at the other side of the cowl. Okay, you can unfold it now because that works a lot better. You put your cowl into the poncho, and as you can see, my cowl is a little bit bigger than my neck, but that doesn't matter. Okay, this is exactly the middle of the front part, and you attach that piece of scrap yarn to your middle too. There are other ways to put in cowls, but this is one of the easiest ways of doing it. So this is my back part, because the seam, you always put the seam in the back part. As I said, there are other ways of doing it, but this is a easy way of doing it while you putting your cowl in for the first time. So the front part, and then I'm attaching it to. Okay. Now, as I said, the cowl is a little bit bigger, but there's stretch enough, tension enough for this cowl. So we are going to put it in. And as I said, the front is a little bit deeper, so it has more stitches. So what you do is you take this point in your right hand and the other in your left hand. Here you can see it, the cowl is a little bit bigger. So what you do is you pull at it and try to make it as big, and then you walk with your fingers, I don't know another word, and you put a piece of scrap yarn over here. And you do that the same with the other part. So one in your left hand and one in your right hand. Okay, we do it again. Pull at it. And you attach either a marker or a piece of scrap yarn. I always use yarn. What is the advantage of this? Most of the time you have to find out, how can I do this that it looks fluently without any that it does this, and you're seeing it in your cowl. Okay, you take a piece of yarn that's big enough to do the cowl in one time. You also check if your cowl is put in the right way. Yes, it is. Good side, wrong side, and the wrong side is for weaving ends. I'm putting the cowl in with a different color now, because then I can show you what is happening. Okay, we make a knot. We are trying to make a knot. And then you put it in a way, in a stitch, so you can start. Just look what is happening. This is your cast on. We don't want to see the cast on the outside, so when you will start there, you can put your needle, just under the cast off. Okay, we know, that's a knowledge we have, that the cowl is a bit, bigger than the neck of the poncho, so we have to take notice of that. We are going to look where we are going to seam it, because we need some solidity. So just look where you can place it, and otherwise you can get the yarn out and start all over again when it is not satisfactory. Okay, this was my piece of scrap yarn. You can either take it out or leave it, but as long as you remove it. Okay, this was my starting point. I put it back, it's just like the Kitchener, and you look at it, this is one stitch, so I'm just pulling and trying to make it as big as the poncho and the cowl. I was doing my stitches over here, so I do it again over there, and I go back into that part of the poncho. Now I come to a part where the V-shapes are appearing, so I'm going to use those V-shapes. My cowl was a little bit bigger, so now I'm going to take two. At first I was only doing one, and now I do two. And just look what is happening. Here was the V shape, I go back into that, and I'm going to reappear into the second V shape, just by pulling it. And when a little bit comes out, just pull it back or pull here, so that that will be at the back side of your cowl. Okay, we do it one time now. We go back into that stitch and we are going into the new one. As you can see, it is still a little bit bigger. You can also try and count. So this is where I would put a stitch. This is the second one. This is the third one, fourth one, and the fifth one. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I know there are no 2 stitches necessary anymore, because now we have found a way that they are as big both of them. So I continue doing, it's a sort of Kitchener. And what is the most beautiful thing about that? It almost looks, no, not almost, it looks the same as your knit work. And when you do that either with white, in this case I would use the purple one, you hardly see that it is seamed to the poncho. So it's a beautiful way of doing it. And why 4 scrap pieces of scrap yarn? Because now you know this piece of these 2 parts are put together the right way. Otherwise you do the whole cowl and then you find out at the end that there is some left over of the cowl and you have done all the stitches of the poncho. So every time you have a point where you know, okay, I have to do 2 stitches extra over here, and in the poncho you do only 1 stitch. And sometimes it's the other way around. It depends on what kind of stitch you use, that your cowl is a little bit smaller than your neck, and then even then it is possible, and that's the amount of stitches I mean then, and even then it is possible to seam your cowl to the poncho. Now if you want to know how to attach a cowl in the length, and there are ways to seam that cowl together that you can hardly see it, so you just see a little seam, and so you touch them almost invisibly. And there's a video on this channel of the double knitted one, and there I seam the cowl in when it's knitted in the length, and this is the way, the same direction as the stitches are going of the poncho. So this is a way of seaming in the cowl, an easy way, and every time you do exactly the same as you did over here. You just take notice, okay, is my cowl still bigger than my poncho? So you just take 2 stitches and then 1, and just by looking at your knit work, at this point your poncho is ready. Hope you enjoyed it very much and hope to see you in another project. Bye bye.